Today, we are going to talk about a feeling that, let's be honest, we all know way too well. It's that sense of being constantly, overwhelmingly busy, but somehow not really getting anywhere. We're going to dive in and see how we can turn that chaos into focused, effective action. Let's get into it. So, does this sound familiar to you? Your day is just packed, right? From morning till night, you're running around, you're checking things off a list. But when you finally get to the end of the day, you kind of look back and think, what did I actually get done? It is such a frustrating feeling. And it turns out the real problem isn't what most of us think it is. We all have that thought. If I just had a couple more hours in the day, I could get everything done. But probably not, right? The real issue isn't about a lack of time. It's about a lack of clarity. It's about not having a clear picture of what truly matters, which means we're just spreading our energy all over the place instead of focusing it where it will make a real difference. Okay, so let's really dig into this problem with busyness. When we're just caught up in that whirlwind, our to-do list feels like this chaotic mess of tasks. And in all that noise, it's pretty much impossible to even find the work that's most important. But what if the way we think about planning is just all wrong?
This is why we need to completely reframe how we see planning. It is not some rigid, boring chore you have to suffer through. Instead, think of planning as a tool for discovery. It's that essential first step that lets you actually see everything you need to do, get it organized, and then, and this is the most important part, prioritize the stuff that's actually going to move the needle for you.
So, how do we get that clarity? How do we find what really matters? Well, it all starts with a surprisingly simple but incredibly powerful framework. Turns out, we can understand everything we do every single day by sorting it all into just 4 basic categories. That's it. Just 4. I mean it. Every single thing you do, from the second you wake up to the moment your head hits the pillow, it all fits into one of these 4 fundamental pillars of how you spend your time. And here they are. You've got important work, vital rest, that thing we all do, procrastination, and our daily routines. Just understanding that these are the 4 buckets is the first step. The next is getting a tool to help you manage them. And to do that, to really sort through our tasks and finally get a handle on procrastination, we need a master tool. And this is where something called the Eisenhower matrix comes in. It is a brilliant, brilliant way to cut right through the chaos and figure out what truly deserves your attention. So what is it? Well, the Eisenhower matrix is really just a simple way to organize everything on your plate. You just look at each task through 2 lenses. Is it important? And is it urgent? It works like a filter, helping you decide what you need to do right now, what you should schedule for later, and, maybe most importantly, what you can just ignore. Okay, so let's break this down. It's a simple 2x2 grid. On one side, you have urgent and not urgent. On the other, you have important and not important. Now, the urgent and important stuff, those are your crises. The urgent but not important stuff, those are interruptions. And the bottom right, not urgent and not important, total distractions. But the real magic, the key to all of this, is in that top right quadrant. And this is the core insight of this entire system. Those tasks that are important but not urgent, this is where real progress is made. This is where growth happens. This is where wisdom is found. We're talking about things like learning a new skill or exercising or focusing on your personal development. Now, here's the catch, and it's a big one. Because these things aren't urgent, because there's no deadline screaming at you, they are the easiest things in the world to put off. No one is forcing you to learn Spanish today, and that is exactly why we have to be deliberate. We have to consciously plan to invest our time and energy right here, in this quadrant. Okay, this brings us to another really key distinction within our 4 pillars, the difference between rest and procrastination. A lot of people get these 2 mixed up, but telling them apart is absolutely critical for your success. And the difference really just comes down to one simple word: intention. See, intentional rest, like getting a good night's sleep or taking a planned break, is a strategic tool you use for peak performance. It recharges you. Unintentional rest, on the other hand, that's just procrastination in a clever disguise. It doesn't restore your energy, it actually drains it because you're just avoiding what you know you should be doing. So that brings us to our final pillar, our routines. These are the automatic things we do every single day, and they are the perfect foundation on which we can build positive, lasting change. I mean, think about it. You brush your teeth, you make your coffee, you take a shower. You do these things almost without thinking. And because they're already so established, so automatic, they are the perfect trigger, the perfect anchor to attach new, small, positive behaviors. We can call them microhabits. And it is surprisingly easy to do this. So, step 1, just pick an existing routine. Let's say making your morning coffee. Step 2, add your new 5-minute habit right after it. So right after you hit start on the coffee machine, you spend 5 minutes on that language app. And then step 3, just acknowledge that you did it. That little mental pat on the back reinforces the new habit, and it makes it so much easier to do it again tomorrow. All right, so let's wrap this all up. The big takeaway here is that the goal isn't to be busy, it's to have clarity. And you can get that clarity by understanding your time through those 4 pillars and then using that Eisenhower matrix to focus on what's truly important, not just what feels urgent. Remember that real rest is intentional and that you can build powerful new habits by stacking them onto the routines you already have. And that brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. As you look at your own life right now through this new framework, I've got one question for you. What is the single most important, non-urgent task that you can make a plan for today?